Thanks, Alyssa. And if you have a child, then you probably know all about social media, but some experts are saying that you probably need to know much more than you think you know about your child and social media.
No, always something new coming up, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Joining us this morning from Gundersen Health System is Sarah Long, Medical Director of Child Adolescent Psychological and Therapy Services. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So are we in a social media crisis when it comes to our children?
Well, we're certainly in a very serious situation, and one that has been increasing significantly over the last several years. But particularly since the pandemic, we've seen a big increase in social media use among kids and teens and some problems associated with that.
So we know social media can be addictive and not always have the best impact on yourself. What are some of the biggest takeaways that you see that social media impacts children negatively?
Yeah, so it can certainly increase things like anxiety and depression, particularly because kids and teens are looking at this best picture of other people's lives and comparing it to the whole picture of their own life. And so that can be difficult for anybody to balance, recognizing that other people are showing this kind of prettier picture of their life than might be really true, but it's particularly difficult for kids and teens. And then we also see a lot of troubles around sleep disruption and bullying as well.
You mentioned balance, which I think a lot of parents always, have to kind of reinforce on their children. So how worried should parents be about this issue?
Well, they should certainly be concerned and be aware of the amount of time their kids are spending on social media, what formats of social media they're on, and what are some of the things that they're doing on there. Because social media can be beneficial as long as we're using it appropriately.
What do you recommend parents to do to help keep this balance with their children? I mean, I even struggle to keep a balance myself. So what are kind of the biggest things parents should be doing?
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the important points, is that social media is intended to keep us on there as long as possible. And that's true for kids and teens as well. So for parents, it's really important that they're starting those conversations early on, hopefully even before their kids are able to download social media apps, in terms of how we balance our time that we spend on there. They can also be using various phone or cell phone plan programs to limit the amount of time that they're able to spend on there, so enforcing some kind of artificial limits. But also sometimes consuming that social media with your kids and teens so that you can see what they're doing and you can have conversations about, is this really helpful to you? Are you benefiting from this? Or is this something that we would benefit from taking a step back from?
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.